Wow, what a job by Max Fried. A brilliant effort here tonight.
Fried has been dominant.
There's the pitch, and Fried gets him swinging. Struck him out. Max Fried's a bad man, and he puts him away. Max Fried wins that battle. Got him. 10 in a row for the Braves ace. After 90 days on the IL, Max is back. Baseball's ERA leader since 2020 returns today. Atlanta and its ace are in Chicago for a marquee matchup against the surging Cubs. Fried and friend-turned-foe Dansby Swanson face off from the friendly confines next on Bally Sports. Braves baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Truist. The Windy City in all its glory, ready for a 3-game series. The Atlanta Braves in town to take on the Chicago Cubs. Well, you go from a beautiful picture like that to this picture. Sorry, everybody. Brandon Gaudin and Jeff Francoeur. But look, a day game at Wrigley on a Friday, such an exciting thing. And for the Braves, a lot of excitement because, yes, Max Fried, after a 91-day absence, Jeff, returns to the mound today.
Well, coming to Chicago in the summer is one of the best times. And you circle this weekend. Now you circle even more with Max Fried, your ace, back on the mound. Look, I think at times, you know, Max, only 26 innings pitches here. So what you like is the fact that his arm should be fresh, should be ready to go. I think for him it'll be nice because you're still able to bring him slowly along. You have such a lead in this division. But the fact that your guy is backed out there on the mound, I think is going to be a huge pickup for this team. And I look to him to throw the ball well today.
And the Cubs are surging right now. This should be a really good series. They've won 13 of the last 16. Of course, Dansby Swanson, former Atlanta Brave, in a Cubs uniform now. First time facing his old teammates. Well, it's the last day of the work week, so what is it, Jeff?
The Friday Night Showdown.
Presented by
Kaiser Permanente.
And it's coming up next from the friendly confines. It's the Braves and the Cubs on Bally Sports. There's his first big league hit. Snagged out of the air by Dansby. Dansby Swanson deep into the back for one. And a throw to first to double. Swanson touches one off. Second home run of this World Series. Dansby Swanson started 800 games for the Braves over the last 6+ seasons, and now first time going against Atlanta. And for more on that, let's go down and join Kelly Kroll.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, a lot of very special memories for Dansby Swanson in a Braves uniform, but he said this one against his former team is a date he's had circled for a very long time. He goes, I even joked that the last time I saw most of these guys was at my wedding. So I've been very anxious to get those hugs, hellos out of the way, and then I know the competitive juices are going to take over. But made it a point to say, I text with these guys all the time. They're some of my best friends. And you don't just lose that bond because you're in a different city now. He even said he texted Max yesterday, asked him, hey, are we going to be enemies tomorrow or what? And they cracked each other up, and he goes, but I know Max. He's looking to get the best of me, and I'm looking to do the same. But finished, guys, by saying Atlanta is still very much home. It's where my family is. I got a lot of friends there. I'm now just in a different jersey.
Yep. Of course, part of 5 NL East crowns, the World Series title in 2021. And now wearing a different uniform and facing his old team for the first time today. Let's get you the lineup for the Braves, presented by your local Toyota dealer. And this lineup will try to keep doing what they did 2 days ago when they put up 12 runs in a win over the Los Angeles Angels. And it looks the same. Acuna, Albies, and Riley to lead things off here in the top of the first against Kyle Hendricks.
Well, you know what? Kyle's had a pretty good bounce back year, but you see the Braves have got the best of them. 1 and 4 with a 6.81. Not going to overpower you, Brandon, as you see. 86 to 88, just sinking and cutting, trying to keep them off balance.
Picture perfect day, 82 degrees here on Friday, August 4th. First pitch at 1:20 Central at Wrigley Field. All afternoon games, and this is what you want when you come to Chicago, Jeff.
Yeah, you like when you come in August or September.
Not April.
Not April.
That pitch misses outside, 2-1. So Kyle Hendricks, as Jeff said, soft toss righty, has had his troubles against the Atlanta Braves, making his 236th career start here today. And he locates on the outside corner, 2-2. See him calling the pitches there on his belt.
Calls his own game. One of the veteran guys you tend to see do that.
Ronald reaches for that. Suzuki out and right, and he's got it toward the line for the first out of the ball game. Jeff, Ford Keys, please.
Well, continue the dominance. I told you those numbers off Hendricks. Just, you know what, same game plan. And for Max Fried, welcome back. Like you said, 91 days, 3 months for him. And you finally got your ace back on the mound at the perfect time.
The Braves sitting here 32 games over 500. Who would have thought? Max Fried out for 3 months, but that's the record, and 11.5 games up in the division. And you got a Cubs team, and we talked about it in the open, that is really surging right now. They just took 3 of 4 from the Reds. They're only 2.5 back in the National League Central. And what in that series, Jeff? One game they put up 20 against the Reds and then 16 the next game.
36 in 2 games. Hopefully they got it out of their system. I think like anything right now, they're playing with a lot of confidence. You see David Ross, their skipper, former Brave, but yeah, they really like where they kind of stand in that NL Central and being able to make a late season push.
1-2 to Ozzie. And Ozzie swings and misses at the changeup. He throws that changeup a lot, over 30% of the time.
2 weeks ago, a lot of talk about Stroman, Bellinger being on the trading block, and they went on that nice little run and kind of changed their whole plans. Now they're going to go for it.
Yeah, went from sellers to buyers. Didn't buy a whole lot. Got Jeimer Candelario. But a team they feel that can win this year, and they have been winning here the last few weeks. There's Candelario over there at third base. Austin Riley fouls that straight back, and it's 0-2. Since the All-Star break, 9 home runs, 22 driven in for Austin Riley. But he's swinging and missing there. Four-seam fastball, and Kyle Hendricks, a 1-2-3 top of the first, and now it's Max Fried's turn. Ace returning to the center of the diamond for the first time since May 5th. That strained left forearm that sent him to the IL for 3 months. But here he is, back in the center of the diamond and back at the spot where he got his first major league win all the way back in September of 2017. And this is just such a nice sight, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, we kept wondering when this day was going to come, got pushed back a little bit, but lefty's finally out here. It's a good sign.
And for the first time in 91 days, Max Fried throws a pitch at the major league level, and he misses inside to Nick Madrigal. 4 rehab appearances in the minors, 1 in Rome, 3 in Gwinnett. And his last time out, 79 pitches, so assuming he'll sit somewhere around that 75 or 80 mark today.
Yeah, and I think a lot just is kind of watch how he goes, how he feels. He's a veteran type guy. That was going to be the biggest thing. I think the stuff will be there, the velocity you already see. I think the crispness of, is he going to be in and out, a little erratic? I think that's something to keep an eye on as the game goes on.
Takes a deep breath, and the 29-year-old deals a 1-2, and it evens the count on a fastball inside. Well, he said, I'll definitely have some butterflies and some jitters before I go out there. Understandable for Max after the long layoff. 3 balls and a strike. And now it's full 3-2.
I would think the happiest person besides Max today is Snit, that he's going to pencil Max in every 5 days now, back in that rotation.
And as we've discussed, to think that the Braves without him would surge to 69-37 and be 11.5 games up. Hard to believe. Acuna did not have to move much, just a couple of steps in, and Max Fried gets Madrigal one away. Cubs lineup presented by your local Toyota dealer. Well, coming up next, it is Dansby Swanson. Braves starting shortstop the last 6 seasons, now in his first year in a Cubs uniform.
It's like anything, you see him on TV and you think, okay, but then when you see him wearing the Cubs uniform in person, a little weird for the first time.
And 2 good friends and former teammates squaring off here. Dansby started 800 games for the Braves over the last 6+ seasons at shortstop. Ooh, generous strike call on the outside there from home plate umpire John Tumpane. And Dansby last season started all 162 for Atlanta. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good changeup.
Well, what's this like for Dansby, Jeff? Little strange, it has to be.
It's definitely a little strange. It'll be a lot different when he comes back to Atlanta a little more. But definitely when you look over and you see that team that you played for all those years for the first time.
And he strikes out. Max Fried's first strikeout back from a 3-month absence is against the former Atlanta Brave Dansby Swanson.
And you don't think he was a little fired up to face his former teammate? 97 on this fastball. And good news for Max, if John Tumpane's starting to give that outside corner like that, you can really go to work.
And now the left fielder Ian Happ with 2 outs and nobody on here at the bottom of the first. And it's a slider in the dirt. Well, Max Fried, not only that 3-month absence with the forearm issue, but remember, after he pitched on opening day, he strained his hamstring, went on the 15-day IL. So it's just been a very herky-jerky 2023 for the Southpaw.
Yes, but like anything, if you're going to get healthy and you're going to stay healthy, this is the perfect time you want it now. Second half after the break, making your, usually say playoff push. I think the Braves are in pretty good shape right now, but getting ready for what you hope is a long October.
And Fried's 1-1. Grounded to Austin Riley. Solid return for Max Fried through the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. For the second, and Olson leads off. We find out who's been hot, brought to you by Texas Pete. And surprise, surprise, it is Matt Olson since June 15th. He's really lowered that strikeout rate, Jeff.
I tell you, 11% is a huge difference, lowering that rate, and I think that's why you've seen his average tick so far up. But again, he has just gotten better and better, and that move to the 4th spot for him, I think, really solidified it. He looks very comfortable there.
5 homers in his last 6 games, now 37 total, 3 behind Shohei Ohtani, who hit his 40th yesterday. Braves had the day off yesterday here in Chicago, came up Wednesday. The Cubs had to play last night, finishing that series when they won 5-3 over the Cincinnati Reds. So Braves a little more well rested than the home team here. Kyle Hendricks back to work for Chicago, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Hendricks has spent his entire major league career with the Cubs since 2014. He is the last Cub remaining from the 2016 World Series roster.
Well, he's been kind of that same pitcher his whole career. It's not like he's all of a sudden lost major velocity. He's always sat around that 88 to 90 mark. Last year it was more 85, and they said this year you can tell he's back to feeling a lot better.
And he's going to get a grounder to first off the bat of Matt Olson for the first out of the second inning.
He's been on a nice run. His last 3 starts, 6 innings, 6 1/3, and 7 against St. Louis last time out. He's one of the more stoic pitchers you'll see. Does not show a lot of emotion.
Yeah, very calm out there. And dealing here to Sean Murphy. Hendricks' best year was that World Series year in 2016. He led baseball that season with a 2.13 ERA, was such a big part of their championship.
Well, he's a good compliment to, they had Lester and a couple of those other bigger arms. And it was like, and then you sprinkled him in the mix, and it was just such a different look for the hitters.
He's ahead of Murphy here 0-2. And he misses low and away.
We say it's one of those things, Brandon, it's like a comfortable 0 for 3. You see everything, you feel comfortable when you're up there, but he's going to kind of work you in and out. You almost got to try to see a pitch, hit singles, and the other power comes.
2-2 as he misses away there with a changeup. Murphy hits it hard, but Candelario throws across. And the Braves so far 5 up, 5 down.
That's kind of what he does. That was a change up there. He backed it up with the one before, and he just gets you out in front enough. Or even if you do hit it hard, a lot of ground balls.
Marcell Ozuna, the designated hitter now. So then, as you're talking about that, how different is your approach as a hitter with a guy like Hendricks versus a hard-throwing righty at 99 or 100?
You've heard me use before the dumbed-down approach sometimes. You got to, like I said, try to just not do too much. You don't get real big. He's wanting you to get big. He's wanting you to go out and get the ball. The Braves have usually done a pretty good job of letting kind of the game come to them when they face him. And then even if you take a nice swing, you're in a good spot and the ball can jump off the bat. Yeah, he backed him off the plate there. 2-1, and now, usually this is where he comes back with a changeup or something right here.
Ozuna swings and misses at that changeup.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can see works in and out.
Marcell has had a lot of success against Hendricks when they faced each other. Marcell 14 for 37 against him with 3 homers and a full count.
And that's the thing now, if you're Marcell and you're sitting there thinking, backs you off again with that, he's probably going to come back with that changeup again. And he's one of those righties that likes to throw that changeup away too.
Came in on the hands, softly to Swanson. And Dansby throws across, and Kyle Hendricks retires him in order again. Let's look at our Xfinity Game Changer feature on the Braves ace Max Fried returning today. Since 2020, he leads Major League Baseball with a 2.64 ERA.
And he's got the best ERA in home run per 9 innings pitched in MLB since 2020. He's done good work against the NL Central, 9-2 with a 2.47. Really, the Braves as a whole have dominated the NL Central this year.
Yeah, the Braves 13-2. against National League Central foes. First time that they faced the Cubs this year, and then the Cubs will come to Atlanta at the end of September. Well, Cody Bellinger has turned things back around this year. National League Player of the Month in July when he hit .400 with 8 homers and 24 RBI. And the former Dodger, there was a time last couple years you weren't sure about his future, but he has looked really good.
Well, I want you to watch right here. So his hands, you see, they're have always been there with LA. But then he would kind of come and really move those hands, rock them forward, and you see he's a lot quieter with them now as he gets ready to hit. Not as much movement.
Taps that back to Fried, wide throw, but Matt Olson able to take care of it. But to finish that point, you just see Cody Bellinger, his approach at the plate is much better now.
Well, you know, he had that year in 19 where he won the MVP, and it's like you can't just forget how to hit when he put up those kind of numbers. I think like anything in LA, you know, he just got moved to the bottom of the lineup. He lost a lot of confidence, and actually liked the sign by Chicago. I thought that was a good risk on a guy very talented.
Well, it has paid off for them here this season. Now the DH, Yan Gomes, who just turned 36 years of age a couple of weeks ago on July 19th. Parts of 12 seasons at the big league level. And he sends this out of play.
That's the thing, if you actually dig into the central standings, the Cubs have like a +70 or close to a run differential. I think we were talking about that the other night. They're in 3rd place.
+79.
79 now. Now the last Tuesday and Wednesday night helped.
Yeah, when they put up 36 runs. Good pitch by Max Fried. Throws the slider in there. Takes care of Gomes. 2 away.
Tell you what, right now, both these pitchers are sharp. That's perfect location for Max on that pitch.
And now he deals to Seiya Suzuki, the right fielder. Grounded to second. Max Fried back on the bump. 6 up and 6 down so far.
Special afternoon for Travis d'Arnaud, who is celebrating 10 years in the big leagues today, and he mentioned that this means the world to him, this milestone. It's something that when he came up, he remembers veterans talking about how much hard work, the sacrifice you would have to give to this sport to reach it 10 years. And this afternoon, before the game started, guys, the clubhouse came together. Austin Riley led a very wonderful speech, I was told, and they handed him this chest protector that marked, as you saw there, all 4 teams he's been with. Great shot of him there in the center, and pretty emotional, I think, for Travis d'Arnaud, who said this is something he's been looking forward to, and especially with this team. So great weekend for Travis, certainly a great career to this point, and many more memories to come, we hope.
That was cool. That chest protector?
That's very cool. Charging in right is Suzuki, and he'll take it off the bat of Rosario. Well, earlier this year, the Braves celebrated 10 years of service for Marcell Ozuna, had a special ceremony, and now a couple of months later doing the same for Travis d'Arnaud. And 10 years of service, 4 different teams. Of course, the World Series title, All-Star and Silver Slugger. He's caught over 5,700 innings in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Kind of nice, too. He's having some of his best years here late with Atlanta, and got rewarded a couple weeks ago with tacked on another year.
Yeah, 1-year, $8 million deal signed for next year with a club option for 2025 as well. We'll keep Travis in Atlanta at least for a little while longer. Orlando Arcia bounces it to second. Madrigal throws on, 2 away. Now, is anybody going to reach base today?
Well, I was just about to say, you know, if you go back to the homestand, the Braves averaged 7.8 runs and hit 18 home runs in that 6-game span. A little different today.
The wind is blowing in.
It's starting to blow harder, too. Earlier in the game, it wasn't doing a whole lot. It's still, no one's really getting the ball in the air. That's the other thing. Both these pitchers doing a good job of keeping it down.
Yeah, mostly in and occasionally a little across the field from left to right. But if you hit one out onto Waveland Avenue in left field today, you're really going to have to get a hold of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Brandon. Even when the wind's blowing in, man, when we used to come here in mid 2000s, Aramis, Ramirez, Derek Lee, it was those line drive. The line drives, they go in the stands. It's when you get a day like this, the higher arcing kind of fly ball just dives.
Wrigley Field opened in 1914, second oldest park behind Fenway, which opened in 1912.
You know, you ask a lot of people, what are your two favorite parks? And I mean, I would say 80% of the people playing the big leagues will tell you either Fenway or Wrigley or right up there. Mine was here. I loved playing here.
You had some good games here, too, if I remember correctly.
I did. I enjoy it. It was always fun here. Locker rooms, nothing to write home about, but you step out here on this field, and it's just beautiful.
Michael Harris sends a 2-2 to left center. And a nice sliding catch by Ian Happ. And we still do not have a base runner in this ball game as we go to the bottom of the third.
Afternoon showdown.
Presented by
Kaiser Permanente.
Braves Cubs from Wrigley, the friendly confines here. Brandon Gaudin, Jeff Francoeur, Kelly Kroll with you on a gorgeous afternoon. Hardly a cloud in the sky, 82 degrees.
You forgot our wonderful stage manager, Sean Farnham.
Sean Farnham is doing exceptional work up here. He's affectionately known as Shooter Sean because he's very good at getting footage with a camera, but today he's pulling double duty.
Yeah, send him to get me a Coke here in a minute.
You got to make him earn his keep, right? You know. Max Fried has sat down the first 6 Cubs that he has faced here in his return. And he faces Jeimer Candelario here, the newest Chicago Cub. Just got traded on the 31st. And boy, he's been off to a hot start. He had back-to-back 4-hit games Tuesday and Wednesday, his first 2 games back in a Cubs uniform. As he debuted with the Cubs a while back in 2016. But he was not on the postseason roster that year when they won the World Series, though he did get a ring. And Max locates that pitch. A slider in there to make it 3-2.
Nice job falling behind 3-0 to bring yourself back into the count.
And he got him. 95 up and away. Candelario late. 3rd strikeout through 7 batters for Max Fried.
Starting to get the feeling this is a pretty good day to pitch. Ooh.
You like the music going right now?
Yeah. Patrick Wisdom. Very nice.
I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
As Patrick Wisdom, the first baseman, digs in here. Max Fried is locked in. 91 days since that last outing on May 5th when he struggled against Baltimore and then hit the IL with the left forearm strain. And that foul ball gets over our heads and completely out of the ballpark.
First game for you here, right?
Yeah, been here as a fan twice,
yeah,
but first time sitting up here in the booth.
It's awesome.
It's perfect. But like Fenway with these old parks, how they're constructed, the foul balls that completely leave the stadium, you don't see that in any of the new venues.
Sitting out here walking on the street behind you, you see baseball coming down.
Tried to locate inside and missed. 2-2. And Max Fried strikes out another. 4 now for the Braves ace.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there's any questions about if you wondered if Max was healthy or not, His velocity is up there, looks just fine. His breaking stuff looks as sharp as we usually see him. Great start for him.
32 pitches to retire 8 guys, 4 strikeouts, and now a fastball in there to Miguel Amaya, the catcher. And he's getting that ball, and he is moving quickly right now. And ahead 0-2. And like Hendricks, and we saw it earlier in the year, Max Fried calling his pitches there with a PitchCom device on the belt. Max Fried, as we mentioned earlier, has had great success against Chicago in his career. 4-0 with a 1.57 ERA. And off to a great start so far this afternoon at Wrigley. And he strikes out the side. That's the first time in a Braves game this year that neither team has had a base runner through the first 3 innings. Is presented by Truist. Braves and Cubs, first time meeting since June of 2022. And so far, the pitchers reign supreme. Kyle Hendricks and Max Fried have not allowed a base runner yet as we march on to the 4th inning. And now there's a base runner. First hit, first base runner, Ronald Acuna Jr.
It's just about to say, too, not only have they not allowed a base runner, they really haven't allowed a ball that's hit hard yet. And, well, Ronald wasted no time. The changeup from Hendricks, and that one came right back over the plate.
So now Major League Baseball's leading base stealer with 51 of them is over there, and Hendricks will check on it. And Ozzie Albies struck out his last time. He is 5 for 9 in his career against Kyle Hendricks with 3 doubles and a pair of singles. Well, even though both of these offenses have been so hot, get the sense that runs may be at a premium. See if the Braves can get Ronald over and in.
Well, and this is what you like, too, because of Ronald's speed and how many stolen bases he's got. You can kind of get a pitcher to worry about him and kind of forget who you're facing, and you could make a mistake.
A good pitch there by Hendricks. Another changeup. A lot different than when Kyle Hendricks faced the Braves here in 2021. He gave up 4 home runs in the first inning. Only pitcher in Cubs history to give up 4 home runs in the first inning of a game, and Atlanta would cruise in that one. But just the 1 single so far here today. And he gets that by Ozzie. 2-2.
You can see he almost got Ozzie guessing right now. That changeup, then he comes back with 88. And he was late.
Well, that's the second time he's thrown over there. Ronald takes off, but Ozzie fouls it back. And Ronald and former teammate Dansby Swanson, a little joke exchange. You like their City Connects, these Wrigleyville jerseys?
They're cool. I've enjoyed most of them. The one I didn't like was the Diamondbacks. They look like The original Coors can.
Ronald goes again. Ozzie sends it to right center field. Still going back, and it bounces up against the ivy. They'll be at second and third with nobody out. Well, we waited all that time for a base runner, and now the Braves have gone single-double to start the fourth.
Let me tell you, though, you can tell that wind definitely is hurting a little bit. I thought Bellinger was going to run this down. That's usually a ball here that on some days that's gone. Boy, as he squares it up, change up that Hong. Ronald had to kind of wait to see, but with no outs, you're not going to send him anyways.
And now Austin Riley, a chance to give Atlanta the lead. His homer the other day is 25th of the season to go along with 66 driven in. And the 1-1 is a changeup that misses low and away. Ground ball to second. It'll play to run. And Atlanta takes a 1-0 lead as Ronald Acuna comes across home plate.
Yeah, great job. They got the infield back. He was able to not only get the run in, but you're also able to get Ozzie over from second to third, set up the next guy. Now the Cubs will have to make a decision with one out. Do they bring the infield in? And I think they are.
They are indeed. With Ozzie 90 feet away and Matt Olson at the plate. So Atlanta strikes first. And Matt Olson looking to make it a 2-0 game. I think they might be cautious with him here and set up runners at the corners.
The way they're pitching him right here, and we saw that with the Angels. The other day, walked twice intentionally.
In that series, Matt Olson was intentionally walked 3 times. That was the most for a Braves player over a 3-game span since Dansby Swanson was intentionally walked in a 3-game span in May of 2018.
I kind of don't understand why you don't put him on at this point if that's.
Keeps the at-bat going here with a strike. Three-1 from Hendricks. Well, that's back our way, 3-2. Well, now he's got it full. Left field, angling toward the line. It's a fair ball. The Braves lead 2-0 on an RBI double by Matt Olson. They opted to pitch to him, and he makes them pay.
You know, Brandon, sometimes you work yourself back in the count like that, and then you're like, okay, I got him. And this is the difference to me, what Matt Olson has been doing, like we showed you, cutting down on the strikeouts. Just knowing all I'm trying to do is get that run in for third, so he lets it see it deep, and he's able to line this ball right down the line. You can see kicks off and drives one in. Beautiful piece.
And now Sean Murphy to left field. Back goes Happ. It's gone. Atlanta has exploded for 4 in the 4th.
there's a few Braves fans here?
It is loud right now.
Yes, it is. Loud with the fans and loud with the bats. Kyle Hendricks, 9 up, 9 down. There's that changeup up in the zone this time around. And Murph, who's been in a little bit of a slump for him, breaks out in a huge way.
18 home runs, now 60 runs driven in this year for Sean Murphy, and that's in part-time work, platooning with Travis d'Arnaud. Oh, back-to-back! Watch this baby fly! On to Waveland Avenue! A big fly for the Big Bear, Marcell Ozuna.
Poppy's going to go in and tell Murphy, yours was a wall scraper. This one was touched. Oh, look at that. Crept right back over the middle of the plate. Clears everything.
So Kyle Hendricks in the first 3 innings set the Braves down in order. 9 up, 9 down. And now all of a sudden the Braves 5 runs here through 6 batters in the 4th inning.
You know, it's funny, if you're a Cubs fan, maybe you're thinking, man, that happened quick. We see it 2-3 times a week. They are able to score 4, 5, 6 runs in bunches like this on teams. Craig Counsell say relentless.
I wonder what former Brave, now Cubs manager David Ross will call it. Because it is, we talk about it, Jeff, it's like a little Muhammad Ali fight. Kind of rope-a-dope you, lull you to sleep, and then you look up and all of a sudden, punch. Boom, boom, boom. And it's 5-0.
Tell you, Marcell hit that through the wind too onto Waveland.
And it had some height on it as well.
Yes.
That thing was scorched. But Eddie Rosario goes down on 3 pitches for the 2nd out. And Marcell's homer, 437 feet. Ozuna now in his career hitting .400 against Kyle Hendricks with 4 homers. And now the birthday boy, Orlando Arcia, 29 years young today. Born back on August 4th of '94, 8 days before the Major League Baseball strike that season. And that is fair between Candelario and the line. And it's going to be a birthday double for Orlando Arcia.
I'll tell you what, only this offense could go 9 up and 9 down, not hit one even remotely hard. Come in the 4th, and now you're batted through the lineup. That ball's in off the plate on the white line.
And again, you're playing a team who is as hot as anyone in baseball right now. They went 13 of 16. Just had a big series where they won 3 of 4 against Cincinnati. And the Braves all of a sudden all over them here in the 4th inning. And as you said, Michael Harris is the 9th man to bat here in the 4th. Left center, will it drop? Yes. Throw to the plate. Safe. He didn't even slide and he got in there. And the Braves have put up a half dozen here in the top of the 4th. Does David Ross want a challenge?
That was close.
No.
Oh.
Remember that Angels game on Wednesday? He had a great slide to avoid a tag. Here, he went in standing.
Yeah, got that left foot in. Said, you know what? It's my birthday, and I'm not going to slide.
Don't want to get my pants dirty now that I'm 29 years of age. Back to the top, Ozuna, or rather Acuna down the right field line, and that's going to roll around to the corner. Harris racing around third. It's an RBI triple for Ronald Acuna, his second hit of the inning, and the Braves are busting this thing wide open.
Yeah, with that triple, they just batted for the cycle on the fourth. That ball just kept going down the right field line, and to think that Michael Harris had to stop at first from even getting hit by that ball.
Seven to nothing. Acuna down at third. And boy, what do the Cubs do here? It's that situation. You just came off a long series. You don't want to dip into your bullpen right now, but Hendricks is just in a world of hurt.
I think they're, like anything, warming somebody up right now, trying to get them hot. This has happened so quick.
See if Ozzie Albies can continue things. He doubled earlier this inning to right center field. There's a strike at the top of the zone. And if you're Hendricks, he has struggled in his career against Atlanta. And I mentioned the outing where the Braves hit 4 homers here in the first inning against them in 2021. But 7 starts against the Braves, a 6.81 ERA into today. And he was cruising right along, and now he hits a huge speed bump.
I think that's the toughest thing. He probably went out to the first 9 hitters and thought, well, maybe I'm finally changing my fortunes against him. And now here he is, 69 pitches in the 4th inning, facing his 11th batter.
Pitch number 70 is downstairs, and Ozzie did not go. 2-2. And you saw a moment ago, indeed, there is action in the Cubs bullpen. Ooh, hammered foul. (12, 17, 9) and now 33 here in the 4th. Ozzie Albies down the right field line, but it's caught by Suzuki to end the nightmare top of the 4th for the Cubs. But for the Braves, it was a dream top of the 4th. 7 come home. A pair of homers back to back. Ozuna, the second one. It's 7-0 Atlanta. Extra base hits. It's the first time that the Braves have had 6 extra base hits in an inning since 2002 when they did it against Minnesota. How about that?
That happened quick, too.
But with all the things this offense has done this year, you wouldn't think that they could do anything else historic, but they had not had 6 extra base hits in a single inning in 21 years.
I know they've had some big innings this year, too, where they've put 5, 6.
Meanwhile, Max Fried continues to roll. Madrigal is retired.
Have we got 8 hits in an inning yet this year?
You're testing,
check that one out.
Testing the memory bank. I do know it's the 3rd time the Braves have scored 7 runs in an inning. Did that May 3rd at Miami when that man had a big game, Marcell Ozuna. And then May 28th against Philadelphia, the Braves scored 7 runs in an inning there.
But if I remember right, there were some walks in those innings and the 3-run homer. I mean, these were hits, 8 hits.
So Max Fried, last time he was out there, it was 0-0. Now he comes out with a 7-0 lead, pitching to number 7, his old teammate Dansby Swanson. And he gets Dansby again. Last time looking, this time swinging.
Went 2 hard fastballs and really set up that pitch because you sped him up in on 95, and then you throw that slider at 87. You see Dansby just out in front of it. Good pitch. And this is what you want your ace to do. You put up 7 runs like that, come right out here and give them no hope.
Looking for a shutdown inning, facing Ian Happ, who grounded out to third back in the first. And for Max, just his 45th pitch. Weekly to first. Max Fried went 91 days between big league starts, and you would never know it. Time for our GMC Making the Grade feature. Austin Riley, 25+ homers in 3 consecutive years, and he has now done that.
Really, after that first month in 21, Austin has been just a model of consistency in the middle of this lineup.
And how about the names on that list? And how about Andrew Jones being in the park? How did he get a front row seat?
Look at that. Derek Schiller, Andrew's buddy Abu.
Enjoying a day game here in Wrigley. Yeah, there's Braves president, as you said, Derek Schiller on the left, Andrew's right.
Got to have dinner with them last night. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Derek was a mature one. He had a call this morning, and now they're enjoying a cold one, as they should in this type game.
In the air to right. And Suzuki over toward the line where the wind is taking it for the first out. I just learned last night that you don't drink espresso after dinner.
You had a rough night. A little background, my partner does not drink coffee. Really caffeine at all.
Hayden Wesneski is the pitcher.
Had a espresso martini.
Well, it was an interesting night. I have only had 2 cups of coffee in my life. I have not really had caffeine since I was 18 years old. I'm now 39. So you go 2 decades without it. You have a shot of espresso and you find yourself up at 4:30 in the morning watching 5 straight episodes of Law & Order Special Victims Unit in your hotel.
And what, you got a nice shave in at 3:30
I shaved at 3:30 in the morning because I walked around the block a couple of times. Slept 2 hours and feel fantastic.
Right back at him.
And feeling even better now that the Braves put up 7 in the 4th.
It's tough not to be here and look at all this and feel happy.
2-2 pitch. That's in there. Matt Olson knew it. Good slider from Wesneski, 2 away. Gosh, Hendricks so good through 3, and then all of a sudden gives up 7 runs, and boom, he's out of the ball game.
So you wonder, he's just got to be sitting there shaking his head thinking, man, that happened quick, and it just escalated and kept going. 8 hits last time the Braves did it, July 21st of 21 against the Pirates in the 8th.
And then 8 in the 4th inning here to take command of this ball game. Plating 7 runs. This guy had a 2-run homer to left. center field. And Bellinger takes it out of the swirling winds, and Wesneski with a 1-2-3 top of the 5th.
Bottom 5 we go. Braves with a 7-0 lead. Max Fried back on the bump, rolling right along, and said it had been a long time coming before getting back out there today. And there is no place I'd rather be than on that mound with my guys behind me. Certainly something he was looking forward to this afternoon, guys. And I thought it was interesting to hear him talk about the rehab starts and saying normally I would say pitching in the minor leagues is different. But down there now with the new automatic ball strike system, the smaller strike zone, you have to get in the zone and attack guys a lot differently. So he said he felt like he was able to get a really good test of how his pitches were working in the zone. And all I know is it's working out here this afternoon.
Is it ever?
Yeah, that's a good point, Kelly, because you think a lot of times, I'm sure in the past, those guys go down there. You know, look, Max Fried comes down, the umpire's probably going to give him a bigger part of the zone, right? And not now with the automated strike zone. They got to be in it.
He's already struck out 6. Now he faces the middle part of the order, starting with Cody Bellinger.
You know what's been impressive this year with the Braves having the record they do? They've had 15 different guys start a game.
3rd most in baseball.
Yeah, and can I tell you the other teams? They're tied for 3rd. The other teams, Oakland, Kansas City, Colorado.
Braves having a little bit more success in those
the
teams.
3 worst records in baseball, and then you turn around with the best record in baseball.
Because through all of that, the Braves starters have a 3.99 ERA, which is the 2nd best in the National League behind the Padres. That is pretty impressive without this guy and without Kyle Wright.
The Braves record was 16 starters and 16. The record was not very good.
It was 68-93 that year. Bellinger hits this over into the Braves dugout. Was that EY that went dancing around over there to avoid that hitting him?
Seemed like it.
See, hopefully he's okay. Well, they're all laughing, so I think everybody's good.
Got Eddie Perez scrambling. EY.
EY's still quick. Oh, I think he's saying it. They have got him in the pills over there. But the smile's a good sign. Here's a 3-2 pitch from Max Fried. Ground ball up the middle. Well, there's the first blemish in the return of Max Fried.
Yeah, 3-2. Fastball up in the zone. See how much quieter Bellinger is? Those hands aren't moving as much as they have in the past.
Well, you said to me in between the inning, what do you do if Max Fried's perfect through 7 and he's over 80 pitches?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this.
Now they don't have to worry about that now.
Might be a little relieved right now because I mean it is. Remember what happened last year with Clayton Kershaw up there in Minnesota? Remember that he was coming back, or it was early in the season off an injury, and did he have a perfect game or was it a no-hitter? One of the two, but
it was a no-hitter.
Either way, it was through the 7th inning.
Arcia tracks this down. 6-3 double play. Well, the Cubs finally get a base runner, and just like that, gone from the base paths.
That was right. Perfect. Clayton Kershaw's perfect for 7.
He was perfect. Okay.
Great job here by Arcia, knowing he can just take it himself. Got plenty of time with Gomes running. But those are tough decisions.
You're right, though. Brian Snitker in the back of his mind probably thinks, well, glad I don't have to make that call.
Yeah. Because like you said, you know how Max is such the ultimate competitor. He's going to be like, you ain't taking me out of this game.
So he's given up a hit, but still facing the minimum here. Suzuki grounded out to second, back in the second. And he's quickly behind here, 0-2. A nice 74-mile-per-hour curveball from Max Fried. Max Fried starts on opening day, tweaks his hamstring, goes on the 15-day IL, comes back April 17th. 4 more starts, and then the left forearm injury on May 5th. Coming back here this afternoon after a 3-month layoff and just has been sensational. 7 strikeouts now for Fried in his return. Zaxby's indescribably good play is how indescribably good the Braves have been against the NL Central. 13-2, trying to get to 14-2 today.
Yeah, the Braves have 38 home runs in these 16 games, including today versus the NL Central. And if you remember, too, the only 2 losses, both 1-run losses. One in Cincinnati and one against the Brewers.
This guy had a part in the big 4-run, or rather 7-run 4th inning. Marcell Ozuna backed up Sean Murphy's 2-run homer with a solo blast onto Waveland Avenue in left field. And Marcell did go around there. 0-2. But this guy, Hayden Wesneski, with Marcus Stroman hitting the IL, Cubs are kind of in search of at least a short-term solution to their rotation. And Wesneski has been in and out of the rotation and sometimes out of the pen like today.
And you wonder with this game, we talked about possibly would he get the start tomorrow or the next day, at some point. But I think when you get to a game like this, I don't think David Ross wants to start blowing through that bullpen after a long 4-game series too.
So he calls on Wesneski here after Hendricks got touched up for 7 in the 4th. David Ross, as Jeff mentioned earlier, 4 seasons with the Braves, 2009 to 2012, as Brian McCann's backup at the catcher position. And now in his 4th year as the Cubs skipper. Downstairs, so Marcell Ozuna earns a free pass here in the 6th.
Man, Marcell, good at bat coming back. Just took 4 pretty quality pitches, but definitely balls.
And now Eddie Rosario 0 for 2 so far. I know we've said it many times, but not only the home runs and the offensive production for Marcell, but at bats like that, where he has just had a good approach and taken some pitches close. Everything's changed since early in the year.
It has, but that's why Snit had told us, remember, sitting in his office in spring training, how excited he was because he loved the way Marcell swung the bat in spring.
High in the air. Happ looking up into the blue sky, takes it for the out. Quick message right now from our friends at Zaxby's.
Zaxby's Southwest Salad is more than just a salad. It's a flavor fiesta.
And for Marcell, he hit that little dip in July, but over the last couple weeks, big series against Milwaukee, big home run and a walk here today.
I think that's the thing about this offense that makes them so tough. Even if you get, like I said, 3 or 4 guys that get a little quiet or aren't swinging the bats great, you got 5, 6 other guys to pick them up.
That one buried in the ground. Candelario will throw to first. Marcell Ozuna into scoring position. Now the Braves putting up 12 runs on Wednesday to win the series against the Angels. And now already 7 more here today against the Cubs. Michael had an RBI single in that big 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Left center. Bellinger closes in the gap and takes it. Marcell Ozuna stranded onto the bottom of the 6th. TV trade deadline sale will end, so take advantage of it now. Only $34.99. Visit MLB.tv for details. A lot of Braves fans here at Wrigley today on a gorgeous afternoon. All 7 runs in this game in the 4th. And Max Fried pitching a 1-hit gem. Candelario fouls it back.
And outside of a couple 3-0 counts today, I mean, he has been on the attack from the first pitch this afternoon.
Max had 7 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts before going on the IL, all the way back on April 28th against the Mets and May 5th against Baltimore. And now 7 here today, and he's a strike away from an 8th. You saw Max's dad last night at the hotel, always following his son around all the parks.
Yep. He was excited to obviously have Max back in the rotation. See his son pitching well.
2-2 here. That is a strike at the knees. And Candelario goes down. 8 Ks now for Fried. You can't see up here in the booth, but Jeff gets really excited now when Patrick Wisdom comes up and they play "I Want to Dance with Somebody" over the loudspeaker. Skied
Great song.
To shallow left. Who wants it? It'll be Arcia going back and taking it in front of Eddie Rosario. 2 away. Quick message here from Truist.
I never realized how important it will be to have you to reach the goal.
If I can make your business 1% better, I did something.
The catcher, Amaya, takes a bouncer, 1-0. Miguel Amaya, a rookie catcher who debuted on May the 4th. 24-year-old from Panama. There's the second hit of the afternoon for Chicago as the rookie laces a single to left.
Yeah, I was talking to Rossi a while ago. They like this kid. Oh, that was a nice swing. Got a fastball, a little end, down. Hit that hard.
Max frustrated with a pitch. Yeah, I was reading an article in The Athletic, though, about Amaya. They really think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, they like him, not just obviously his bat, but as a catch and throw guy, too.
All the pitchers rave about him, say he's incredibly smart, has a great feel for the game back behind the dish.
Yan Gomes has been actually swinging the bat really well this year, so it's enabled them to be able to do what they've done today, DH him every once in a while.
A lot of their bats have been heating up over this stretch. Since the All-Star break, they're scoring 7.5 runs a game, most in Major League Baseball. But Max Fried has been up to the challenge here this afternoon. Ozzie dives but can't stop it. And for the first time today, the Cubs have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, this curveball See where the location was, just kind of hung. Good job of taking it right back up the middle. Ozzie almost got to it.
So now Dansby Swanson a chance to put the Cubs on the board here, but he grounds it right at Ozzie Albies. And Max Fried keeps the Cubbies scoreless through 6. You guessed it, the 4th inning for the Braves, where they had 7 runs on 8 hits and a pair of homers by Murphy and Ozuna.
Story of the game. First 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down, and then the Braves bring 11 to the plate in that 4th inning. 2 hits for Ronald, single to lead it off, and then a triple down the right field line to end it.
And now he will lead off in the 7th. Now Max Fried at 72 pitches. We'll see if Brian Snitker lets him come out for one more inning. Wesneski, the right-handed reliever, back to work for the Cubs. I think if he was at 65 pitches, Max Fried, he probably definitely comes out. What do you think? But 72, you're right on the line there.
I personally would love it because I'd love to see him get to 80 or 85, and that way you feel like the next start. But, you know, at the same time, he was able to accomplish this in 6 innings today, so pretty good.
I think if you're Brian Snitker, you came into the day thinking, well, if he could get through 5 and only give up a couple of runs, that'd be a great welcome back. It has just been superb.
Well, I said when we talked early in the game, right off the bat, I said I thought if there was one thing he would struggle with was just, you know, in and out of the strike zone. Well, that has not been the case. He has been on the attack and in the zone.
And he located the ball so well. Only 2 balls by the Cubs today have been hit in the air. Everything else has been on the ground or a strikeout. Ronald keeps it at 2-2 here with a foul ball. And a jumping catch by Wisdom over there at first base to take a 3rd hit of the game away from Acuna. Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact Player. It is Ozzie Albies, and what he has done against the Chicago Cubs in his career over 25 games, a .412 batting average.
Yeah, and you see the bottom, 417 here at Wrigley. Reached base safely in 22 of the 25 games, with 15 of those going for multi-hit games.
He had a double back in that big 4th inning. Felt like EY could have made that play.
There too. Kind of gator armed and pulled the hand.
He olayed it a little bit. That was coming in hot though.
Tell him Wash would have made that play.
I did tell Eddie Perez, by the way, that you were talking about him as the first base coach the other day. Had to let him know.
Good.
He said, I'll give Frenchie back. This one stays in play for Wisdom, and he tosses to Wesneski. Stay tuned for the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas, after one more out here at Wrigley Field. Something tells me the studio guys are going to be buzzing about the performance so far by Max Fried.
Yes.
No balls and 2 strikes here to the Braves' 3rd baseman Austin Riley. Oh, we had back-to-back homers in this game by Murphy and Ozuna. Last game on Wednesday, Riley and Olsen went back-to-back for the 6th time this season. most by Braves teammates in a single season in franchise history. The previous Braves high was 5. Chipper and Brett Boone went back-to-back 5 times in '99.
I would have thought maybe Chipper and Andrew would have done it at some point.
I thought that too, but there's Chipper and Brett Boone. I'm excited for the 7th inning stretch here at Wrigley Field.
Let's see if we can get you to sing it one time.
No, nobody. They wouldn't want that, and if they heard me, they really wouldn't want it. Windows would start shattering. Deuce is here, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch. Right field, pretty well struck, but this one is going into the seats. This all those years growing up watching the games on WGN, though, with Harry Carey singing in the booth. My goodness. Austin Riley tattoos this to left center and into the bleachers. And Atlanta with an 8-0 lead in game 1 of the series. Well, Marcel's earlier went 431. That one goes 430.
Yeah, Austin saying, I'm 0 for 3. It's time to join the party. Fouled off some tough pitches late down the right field line and then gets a spinner and does not miss it.
He has not missed much since the All-Star break. Golly, 10 of his 26 homers since second half started.
Come in bunches sometimes.
Well, talked about Austin and Matt going back-to-back 6 times this year. Chance here to make it 7. And 7 back-to-back homers by teammates. That is the major league record. 2001, Barry Bonds and Rich Aurelia did it 7 times.
Well, why not, right?
Chance to tie it here on August 4th for Riley and Olson. Wesneski deals, and another foul ball. It remains 1-2. Since June 9th, these are the 2 hottest teams in baseball. Braves 31-13, the Cubs 30-17. But right now it is all Atlanta. Two and 2. And it misses outside. Count full.
See out on the board there, it says Brad Hand is warming up down there. So maybe Max is done and we get to see his Braves debut. My whole thing, though, I guess it's like if you're only going to throw Max for 5 or 6 more pitches, then I'd rather have him be done. If you're going to send him out there, you got to give him the ability to go 10, 12, 13 pitches.
Well, if he is done, what a welcome back for Max Fried.
Yeah.
On the field where, as I mentioned earlier, he got his first major league win back in 2017. High in the air. And Suzuki with the glasses on, takes it for the third out. But Austin Riley with a homer to make it 8-0 Atlanta as we head to the stretch. Brad Hand is on for his Braves debut.
Yeah, the longtime lefty. We're going to take a look at his arsenal here on the StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. See that sweeper. And then, of course, good fastball, which he can four seam and sink. Might not throw as hard as he used to, but still great stuff. Good to be here.
Brad Hand, the three-time All-Star, his 13th Major League season. Traded July 30th from the Rockies. Was in his first year in Colorado. Signed a one-year deal with him on March 4th. And now wearing an Atlanta Braves jersey and dealing to Ian Happ to start the bottom of the seventh. For Brad Hand, with his appearance here today, he has now pitched for all 5 teams in the National League East.
He finally beat me. I was at 4.
He came close.
He made the whole round.
Came close. He debuted with the Marlins, was there from 2011 to 2015, briefly with the Nationals and Mets in 2021, and then with the Phillies last year. And now an Atlanta Brave. 3-1 to keep the at-bat going with Ian Happ. But you just cannot say enough, Jeff, about the effort today from Max Fried.
That's the thing. We talk about this offense all the time, but I think more important than that today is what Max was able to do, how sharp he looked.
Austin gobbles it up and takes care of business.
And a good reason that I think Alex Anthopoulos stayed pat at the deadline as far as getting a starter, because you felt like with him, Strider, Elder, Morton, I got my 4 guys when I go to the postseason. So Trinos, someone else, Schuster, Soroka, you got plenty of options for that other 5th spot, but you get to a postseason, you only need 4 guys. And in a short series, sometimes even 3.
And still no timeline on Kyle Wright, but hopefully you get him back in September. Then you can use him out of the bullpen if you need to.
Good veteran call by Hunter Wannstedt. 8-0 game. Did he go? Yep. There's David Ross yelling at him.
Well, maybe he's got reservations at Gibson's tonight.
Yeah. And Rossi learned from Bobby Cox. Hot day game, you're getting beat like this. Maybe you get thrown out.
0-2 from Hand, fouled back off the bat of Bellinger. For Max Fried, with his effort today, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, no runs. That's the 3rd time that he has completed 6 or more scoreless innings with no walks and at least 8 strikeouts in his career. And he did it after a 91-day layoff. And now Brad Hand on in relief. Well, Bellinger shoots this the other way. He was the National League Player of the Month in July, and he continues his hot hitting. He's 2 for 3. Let's get a message now from Georgia Drive Chevy.
Chevy Silverado, the #1 selling full-size pickup in the greater Atlanta area. See your local Chevy dealer.
And now the first Brazilian-born Major League Baseball player, Yan Gomes, a designated hitter, takes a strike. Was an All-Star in 2018 with Cleveland and a 2019 World Series champion with the Washington Nationals. Well, for a guy like Brad Hand, yes, he gets a chance here to go to a winner late in the season, but I know he may not be the three-time All-Star he once was. He brings a lot of experience to that Braves bullpen.
Yeah, it just gives you another lefty. You know, we're hoping Dylan Lee comes back at some point, but gives A.J. Minter a break. You saw early in the year he was used so much, and you were finally able to, you know, he went on the IL, get him back. You feel like that arm's rested. The last thing you want to do is run it right back into the ground. So I thought this was one of the bigger pieces, just to have another lefty quality arm down there.
Got a piece, did Gomes, to stay alive.
Guys, mentioning Dylan Lee, Brian Snitker saying here before the game that he will begin his rehab assignment tomorrow for AAA Gwinnett. So that is certainly good news. Dylan Lee, who has also been out of action, right, since May. He'll start that rehab assignment tomorrow, and hopefully they'll have him back in that bullpen soon.
That's good news. And I would imagine this is his is going to be a little more extended of a rehab than we saw with Minter. Minter had, what, 2 appearances, I think, and he was back. You know, this is going to be something maybe where it's 3, 4, just to make sure he's feeling good, but a good sign.
But the rich getting richer here in the month of August. Ozzie Albies flips to Orlando, on to first to Matt Olson for the double play. Atlanta up 8-0 as we head to the 8th. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Ford Dealer, by the Xfinity 10G Network. The future starts now. And by Truist. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. 8-0. Braves leading it as we go to the 8th. What a gorgeous day here in Chicago. And the Braves putting up 7 in the 4th and 1 more in the 7th for good measure. And now here is Sean Murphy.
We're going to go get a little run in on the lake after this?
We'll see. Unless I have a monumental crash, that's the plan. I'm still feeling good. Jose Cuas is coming in here out of the Cubs bullpen.
Came over from the Royals at the deadline.
If I go, you're going with me, though.
I'll get a run in.
I feel like we got to take advantage.
100, yeah. I mean, beautiful weather.
Gorgeous Friday in Chicago. All 3 games in the series, 1:20 local starts, 2:20 Eastern, before the Braves will ship out to face another NL Central team in Pittsburgh for 4 games. That one misses, so Sean Murphy, who had a 2-run homer in the 4th, walks here to begin the 8th inning. A quick message now from Delta.
On behalf of our Atlanta-based crew, go Braves! Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Well, the last few nights where the Cubs beat up on the Reds, it was loud here at Wrigley in front of a packed house. Another packed house today, but all the cheers have been from the Braves fans. If you weren't with us for the first 3 innings, Kyle Hendricks and Max Fried were both perfect. There wasn't a base runner in the first 3 innings, and then the Braves exploded in the 4th.
Wasn't a base runner and wasn't even a ball hit hard by anybody. And then Ronald led off with that first pitch single to start the 4th, and it just unraveled.
And this man, Marcell Ozuna, had a solo homer in that 4th inning. Late there, 93-mile-per-hour pitch from Cuas by Ozuna for the first out. Mentioned Quas coming over from Kansas City, so going from a team that is not in the playoff picture to a team here in the Cubs that is trying to contend. 56 and 53 in 2.5 games back in the Central. Eddie Rosario gets a hit the other way. And runners at first and second. And with that hit, that means that everybody in the Braves lineup has a knock today.
I was going to say Austin Riley took care of it last inning with that home run, and now Eddie punches one the other way. And you get a guy kind of throwing from the side, running away from it. It's exactly the approach as a left-handed hitter you want to have. Now the birthday boy.
How about a birthday bomb, Orlando? Orlando did not want a birthday double play, but that's what he's got. He did have a double earlier, and it's 8-0 Atlanta, so we can smile. Braves baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life. And by the All-South Highway Safety Team. Play it safe. Never mix drinking and driving. Back in the Windy City, bottom 8. Looking at our Verizon projected starter. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. And it will be none other than Bryce Elder. Going for his 22nd time this year as a starter.
And you know what? After a couple tough starts in a row for him, the last 2 has really straightened it back out. 2.08 ERA and a 186 opponent's average. So you like that, and a good place for him. If that ball's sinking, keep it down and get ground balls.
Meanwhile, a guy who has been pitching as well as any reliever in Major League Baseball, Joe Jimenez, is on here for the 8th. This Atlanta bullpen holds the 2nd best ERA in the National League. And a good job by Brad Hand in his Braves debut to work a scoreless 7th. Seiya Suzuki is now 0 for 3. 96 for Jimenez. He blows it right by him.
He is pitching with such confidence, isn't he? I mean, what a major turnaround. And look, he had some huge years in Detroit, and you just kind of get the feeling that it took his while for his arm to kind of come back this year, but last 2.5 months, he's been outstanding.
And now he paints that on the outside corner to Candelario. Yeah, Jimenez, a couple of years he struggled during the COVID year in 2021. He had a bounce back 2022. But this has been even better, especially as we've documented over the last couple of months.
I think what's great too is, not that, you know, you hate it. Nick Anderson was pitching so well, but when he went down, you feel like Jimenez now feels like I've taken on that role. You can tell him pitching with a lot of confidence.
1-2 to Candelario, bouncing in to Sean Murphy, 2-2. With that last strikeout by Jimenez, Braves hurlers have fanned 9 today. 8 for Fried. And now Jimenez will try to make it 10 strikeouts for the Braves staff today. No strikeout here, but an easy grounder to Matt Olson. Now, how many times have we seen it this year? A team is hot, coming into a series feeling good, and the Braves knock them down a couple pegs.
Quite a few times.
Same thing so far here this afternoon. And Patrick Wisdom is down 0-1. This is a guy that bounces around for them defensively. Most of his time at third base, but a fair amount of time at first base, and that's where he is today for Chicago.
One of those guys that's low average, but a lot of power.
Yeah, 19 homers this year, 72 homers since the start of the 2021 season. But swinging and missing here. Jimenez strikes out 2. He retires the side in order, and he continues to be white hot. This ball is brought to you by Georgia Drive Chevy, by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Well, it's time for today's Xfinity game break, Brandon. As you see, the Braves up 8-0. One of my favorite moments in all of baseball. Willie Harris, Cubs third baseman on Cubs third base coach on July 21st, 2007. 6 for 6 for Willie. And I have told the story on here numerous times. Did it with the giveaway bat.
It just blows my mind. So tell it again. And they were handing out bats to the first, like 5,000 fans or something.
Yeah, it was a couple days before that, and we had some leftover ones. He picked it up, said, you know what, I haven't got a hit doing anything else. And Andrew Jones told him, look, you get 4 hits with that thing, I'll buy you any watch you want from my watch guy tomorrow. Willie takes it up, goes 6 for 6. Next day, he picks himself out a $30,000 watch from Andrew Jones.
How about that?
One of the great all-time teammates, Willie Harris, from the pride of Cairo, Georgia.
And as you said, now the third base coach for the Chicago Cubs. That is such a phenomenal story. And as we showed, Andrew Jones here today. And now Tucker Barnhart just throwing absolute gas at 42 miles an hour in there to Michael Harris.
Pounding the zone.
So you saw his 4th pitching appearance. And he's going to get a grounder here for the first out.
Told you, this always shows you, if you throw strikes, you can get outs. This ball right here, if he throws it, I'm not going to lie to you, could be hit out of this park.
Ronald Acuna, you think that his eyes are as big as saucers right now?
He's getting ready to launch.
Yeah, you saw Tucker back away from the mound as Ronald swung. But I don't think Ronald's happy with a single. Look at this. Smart guy.
It's like beer league softball. You can see Ozzie going from the right side here too.
And he skies it. Instead of batting lefty, Ozzie thinks, no, I'll stay righty.
Can I tell you what's impressive about this? 4 pitches. 4 strikes throwing 42 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's not easy, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's tough.
32-year-old catcher Tucker Barnhart obviously being put in here because it's an 8-0 game. They don't want to burn another reliever. Wow. Well, I don't know if that was a strike, but it was at 37 miles an hour. Austin Riley high into the air, but he got underneath it.
6 pitches, 6 strikes.
Tucker Barnhart on 6 pitches. Sends
Not
us
hard,
to the
guys.
bottom of the
Not hard.
Average Cam, all about Max Fried. 6 innings scoreless, and he struck out 8.
Well, and he had everything going today. That's the changeup. You see the slider. Got Dansby on a slider, Suzuki look, and then just freezes on the fastball. And we're going to take a look at our StatCast 3D. The strikeouts again. 3 on the fastball, 2 on the slider, 2 on the change, and 1 on the sweeper. Outstanding effort, 72 pitches in 6 innings, and boy, is it good to have him back.
Could not have envisioned a better return for the Braves ace.
Yeah.
And now Colin McHugh will try to keep the shutout going here in the bottom of the 9th.
And Jimenez have come in and done their job. Only 4 hits today for the Cubs. All singles.
One of the singles from this guy, Miguel Amaya. 1 for 2.
Tucker Barnhart just came in and just sat the heart of the Braves order down.
6 pitches. And the Cubs have 2 outs remaining here. I was asking you about it. If he's pitching in there at 37 to 42 miles an hour as a hitter, are they just too far out in front of it? If you're struggling against that pitch, why is it? It's just because you never see it?
Yeah, I mean, look, Michael Harris hit his hard right at the second base. It's just tough to time it. You saw Ozzie get under his. Ronald got a knock, but, you know, he couldn't get any air under it. You just don't see it that slow. I mean, that's not even BP.
And Austin just missed his.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since I've actually seen a guy throw a pitch and back up off the mound. I mean, that is beer league softball. I don't blame him.
That was good comic relief in an 8-0 game. Well, now the top of the Cubs order, and Nick Madrigal. He's 1 for 3.
Looks like they're going to give Dansby the rest of the day off.
Yeah, he was replaced in the top of the inning defensively by Morel, and Morel will be the one to bat next.
Remember, like you said earlier, the Braves had the day off yesterday, and the Cubs had a night game.
On a 1-out walk. Well, I didn't want to jinx it, but that's the first free pass issued by the Braves pitchers today.
Yeah, twice Max had 3-0 counts today and was able to come back in the count.
And now here is Christopher Morel stepping in for Dansby Swanson. It's the second year of the bigs for Morel, and he's having a pretty solid campaign. Hitting .279 with 17 homers and 53 driven in. And they can put him anywhere. He plays all over. One-two pitch from Colin McHugh. And down goes Morel. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Well, the Braves are about to improve to 48-3 this year when they score 6 or more runs. That powerful offense doing it again here today in Chicago.
Well, the other thing we haven't talked about, this is all happening in a crisp 2 hours and 8 minutes so far.
I didn't want to say it because I thought everybody on our crew would get angry at me for saying it.
And now we got 2 outs in the 9th, so it's like.
Backs Happ off the plate, 1-1. This would be the largest shutout win for the Braves at Wrigley since August of 1978. When Phil Niekro threw a complete game and the Braves won 9-0. We'll see if Colin McHugh can complete it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure if Max Fried was stretched out and wasn't coming back from the IL, he had every opportunity to throw a complete game today.
Braves fans that are here on their feet. Just missing outside, 2-2. Ian Happ 0 for 3 today. And the count goes full. McHugh kicks and deals. Ground ball. Matt's got it. Braves win. Ninth shutout of the season for Atlanta, 8-0. Well, it's a 7-run fourth that ultimately propelled them to victory, but this game will be known as the Max Fried return game. After 91 days away from a Major League diamond, he goes 6, does not give up any runs, and he strikes out 8.
Well, Max was brilliant. So good to have him back out on the mound today, leading this staff. And boy, the second part to that is that fourth inning. After going 9 up and 9 down the first 3, the attack started for the Braves. We've seen all year, and they threw the knockout punch in the fourth. 8-0 and a crisp 2 hours and 10 minutes.
There you go. Now you can say it. And as I noted for the Braves, largest shutout win at Wrigley since August of 1978. How about that? Wow. We'll try to do it again tomorrow. Coverage beginning at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports app. A gorgeous Friday in Chicago and a gorgeous outcome for the Atlanta Braves as they get their 70th win of the season. For Jeff Francoeur, for Kelly Kroll, for our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. Stay tuned for the postgame show now. So long, everybody.